What's going on, guys? This is Talking Sports Podcast with Adam and Alec, episode 30. This episode, we're recapping the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, as well as previewing the Final Four and Monday night's championship game. Before we start all that, we want to thank you guys for liking and watching our videos lately. We've hit high numbers for our expectations. I think our AL East video at this moment is in the 140s. And our NL East is also in the 110s, I think. So huge. Thank you guys for the support. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to come on and talk about anything, let us know. We're more than willing to get you guys on here and talk. Adam, you want to say anything about that before we get into it?
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's been awesome to see we're finally getting some views and some likes and comments, more subscribers. It's awesome. We hope that you guys are enjoying the content we're putting out, and hope that you guys will keep watching, comment, subscribe to our channel. Seriously, we'd love to have some more guests on, so it'd be great to have some of y'all on.
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned in the intro, we were talking about the Sweet 16 and Elite 8, as well as previewing the Final Four this weekend. The first matchup, I guess we'll talk about, top left of the bracket, Gonzaga, Arkansas. This is one that I've been against Gonzaga this whole tournament.
Yeah.
What was your take on this game?
Well, I mean, we talked about Gonzaga, how they play in the Cupcake Conference, and which doesn't really prepare them for a deep run in March. They saw it last year when they played y'all in the championship and got bullied. And this Arkansas team is a really solid basketball team, coming in as a 4 seed. But they've played with the big dogs all year. They knocked off the number 1 seed Auburn at one point during the season. So Arkansas was prepared for a big game like this, and Gonzaga, we all know, was not. So I guess for my bracket, I was hoping Gonzaga would win, because I had them in my Final Four, but it really didn't surprise me that they lost, knowing that they come from that Cupcake Conference and they don't really get any prep for a deep run.
Right. And I didn't know if this Arkansas team really had it in them to beat Gonzaga. Like, it was a game I wanted to see Arkansas win, but I didn't know if they actually had the pieces to. But it's just nice to see Gonzaga get bounced out again. It's always good to see that.
Yeah.
Real quick, all the Sweet 16 games were honestly really good. The Elite 8 games were a little bit different, which is weird. But definitely enjoyed the Sweet 16 matchups here.
Yeah, I agree. The Sweet 16 were really fun to watch. They all pretty much came down to the wire, it seemed like. And March Madness is crazy, especially when you get to the later rounds. So
yeah, for sure. So the next game up, we have Duke and Texas Tech, sorry. A game that Duke came in and win. And this was a game I didn't think Tech could keep up offensively. I thought it was going to have to be a low scoring, like 50 to 54 game. But they managed to put up 70 against Duke. Do that what you will. This Tech team isn't really known to put up high numbers. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a really good game. I didn't think it would be, but yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, Tech was my pick last week on the episode. I was really hoping Tech would win, and I really thought they were going to pull it out. As it was kind of back and forth, and Tech had the lead, and then kind of just lost it there in the last 4 or 5 minutes. But Tech was a really good team in the Big 12. We know what Duke is. This is the last dance for Coach K, and he wants to go out on top, and his players want that for him. So I mean, Duke's going to be scary coming up this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Coach K will have his guys locked in for sure.
Yeah.
Next game up is North Carolina, UCLA. I've been saying this whole tournament. North Carolina is not an 8 seed. They've proven it this whole tournament. Kind of messed us up in the second round. But, by the way, North Carolina beat UCLA. Another really good game. That's all I can really say about the Sweet 16 games. They were all really good. There's not really a letdown game. I think UNC's caught fire. I think this next game, I think it's Saturday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, against Duke. That's going to be a really good game, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But UNC definitely looks really good right now.
Yeah, North Carolina is a really good team. Man, that Baycott guy down low, I think, let's see, he had 15 rebounds in the game against UCLA. And I know in the next round in the Elite Eight, he had like over 20. So that dude is like, he is a beast down low in the paint. Obviously, you got Brady Manick. I love Brady Manick, former OU player. Um, Davis has been a stud the whole tournament. And then they got the other guard, Love. He's really good as well. This team's really good. We talked about it before. They're not really deep. They don't have a deep bench. They play like 6, 7 guys. But great players and good coaching. I mean, it gets you far, as we know they're sitting in the Final Four. But we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Yeah, mentioning them not being deep, that really showed against Baylor after
Manic.
Yeah, Manic got ejected. The tide turned because they're not 8 deep. They're about 7 deep, maybe 8,
Yeah.
not reliable. And we'll talk about Duke in a little bit, but Duke has a chance to really put this game out really quick if they play how they have been playing, charging or attacking the rim and stuff. Next up, our Cinderella story. St. Peter's beat Purdue by 3. I was so nervous this game because I was all on St. Peter's bandwagon. Purdue, the 2 big guys down low, I thought there's no chance St. Peter's wins, but they pulled it out. Doug does Doug things. Insane.
I was so hyped for St. Peter's, man. That was so awesome. The first team in history as a 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight. I mean, that's just incredible, man. In this small school, 15 seed, and they knock off Purdue in the Sweet 16. I mean, can't get better than that. I just had this feeling they were going to win, honestly. I mean, everyone was on the bandwagon, Sadly, it didn't last too much longer, but they had a great run.
Yeah, an amazing run that had all of America behind them.
Yes.
Next up, we have Arizona against Houston. This was a game that, I don't know, I think we both picked Houston.
Yeah, I picked Houston for sure. I know that.
I might have picked Arizona now I think about it, but Houston looked really good against Arizona. They got out early, I think. I'm trying to remember that game because it's been a while. But Houston won by 12. That's probably the most lopsided final. It wasn't really a lopsided game, but it's the most lopsided final.
Yeah.
Do you have any takeaways from this game?
And this Houston, they were legit, and knocking off Arizona. I'm trying to remember who they beat. I think they beat a 4 seed in the second round.
Yeah, Houston beat Illinois.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They beat Illinois in the second round, and then knocking off Arizona. I'm proud of them because I picked them to win last week, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, definitely going forward. The Big 12 looks okay in basketball.
Yeah.
Next up, Michigan Villanova, 8-point win for Nova. Been a team that's been up there all year. They didn't really exceed expectations, but they didn't not exceed them. Kind of doing what Villanova does, getting hot at the right time, and they're in the Final Four now. Against a Michigan team that almost didn't even make it to the tournament. So good result for Michigan here, making it to the Sweet 16. Even better result for Villanova. Although next round they did lose one of their better players. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Do you have any takeaways from this Michigan-Villanova game?
I just blanked on the Villanova's coach. Help me out.
Oh, don't do that. Me too.
Oh, my goodness.
I can picture him in my head.
Oh, my goodness.
That's going to bug me.
Jay Wright. Yep. Jay Wright. But I saw a stat. I'm pretty sure this is his 4th Final Four. And all of other Villanova coaches, in their whole school's history, have only made it to 3. So, I mean, he's totally brought their program back. And, they've always been good in making runs in March. They won it in 16. I remember off the buzzer against North Carolina. And didn't they win it in 18 as well?
I think so. I think they skipped a year and won it again.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a really good team and, a team that could definitely win it again. Yeah, I know we're going to talk about the Final Four more, but literally any of these teams can win it all. Seriously.
4 blue bloods in the Final Four. Definitely something.
Yeah.
Next game is Kansas and Providence. I didn't really think Providence would do this well against Kansas because I haven't been high on them this whole tournament. But they stuck with them. Kansas started out really slow. Pretty sure they were trailing going into the second half or even a little bit in the second half, but then they just lit it up. A Kansas team that looks really good. I don't know. Like you said, any of these Final Four teams could win it. I'm kind of leaning one way, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So, you have any takeaways from this game?
Yeah, I remember saying last week that this was going to be a close game, and it didn't surprise me. Providence isn't the big school like Kansas, but they've had a really solid team all year. We know what Kansas is, being fans of the Big 12. We see them multiple times a year, and they're a really solid team. They haven't choked yet. Normally, they've choked by now in March, but here they are sitting in the Final Four. So we'll see what happens.
And then the last of the Sweet 16 games, two teams we didn't think would get here: Iowa State, Miami. Iowa State they ran out of steam. They lost by 14. They had a good run up to this point, but Miami comes in. I guess the three teams from the ACC are actually really good.
Yeah.
So,
Miami really dominated this whole game. They started off on like a 9-0 run, I think. It was like 9-0 at the beginning of the game, and then they just never looked back.
Yeah, credit to both teams for making the most out of their season. Iowa State, tale of two halves, really. Non-con and then conference, two different Iowa State teams. But definitely good to see them come through in the tournament.
Yeah.
So that wraps up the Sweet 16. The Elite Eight now started off with Arkansas and Duke. Duke comes in, does what Duke does what Duke does. Hard to say that. Coach K, like I said, good had the guys locked in for the next game for sure. Maybe two games, we'll see. Arkansas, I don't know. I didn't think they could compete with Duke, but they did all right.
I was hoping that Arkansas would be able to pull it out. But really, Duke showed who they are and why they're here, and really just controlled the game. But Arkansas had a really good season. They've had back-to-back Elite Eight appearances, which is really good for their program. And, eventually I could see them taking the next step, that Arkansas program.
Yeah, for sure. The next game in the Elite Eight, North Carolina against our beloved St. Peter's. North Carolina blew this game up. Bangkok, I think, had 15 boards in the first half.
Yep.
There was just no height for St. Peter's to stand with UNC. And we knew it was going to come to end eventually. I didn't think they'd get past, if I'm being honest, I didn't think they'd get past Purdue last year because of the height mismatch. But Bangkok really dominated. 20, 22, I think. What's the stat line?
22 boards.
I thought he had right around 20 points. I don't know.
20 points, 22 boards for Bangkok. Brady Manikin, 19. Love had 14.
That's an NBA stat line right there for Bangkok.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a huge NBA stat line. But yeah, definitely a good game. And we'll talk about each team individually here in a little bit. But moving on, Houston and Villanova. Villanova, good win. Ends up kind of hurting them. Lose a guy. I don't know if it's confirmed Achilles. Definitely looked like Achilles. Hope it's not. I haven't seen any confirmation.
It was Achilles.
That's tough.
So he definitely won't play.
That's tough. It's because it was late in the game too.
Yeah.
Just tough to see a talented player like that go down. But
you never want to see that happen because, that could really hurt Villanova.
Yeah. Kind of throws a wrench in his career. See hopefully he comes back stronger than this though. But they took care of Houston 50-44. Pretty good game overall. It went down to free throws at the end. Villanova, one of the best shooting free throw teams in the tournament. That's why they're kind of favored right now. Because when it comes down to free throws, which the tournament often does, they're automatic, essentially. Do you have any takeaway from this game before we get to our last Elite Eight?
Yeah, we talked about Villanova a little bit earlier. They're a legit program. They got really good players, really great coach. and they're here for a reason. Now losing, I just blanked on his name. Goodness,
I
it was
believe Justin Moore.
yes, Justin Moore. That's right. That's right.
Um,
Yeah, but losing him, he's been a huge piece to them through this tournament run. So it'll be interesting to see, how they respond to that and how they group together as a team. After losing one of their stars.
Definitely. Last game we talked about is Kansas, Miami. Kansas blew the roof off Miami, 76-50. Kind of a big time statement win going to the final weekend of the tournament. Like, hey, we're figuring it out. I'm pretty sure they started off slow though, if I remember correctly.
Miami
Close
was
at
winning.
half.
Miami was winning 35-29 at half,
Jeez.
and then they lost by 26.
So they allowed 15 points in the second half.
Yeah.
Jeez, Kansas. When they turn it on, they turn it on.
Yep.
Like, that's one thing I'll give Kansas credit for. They don't always have it, but when they do, they're really good.
That's true.
So I mean, they got 2 games left. Most hope, kind of for the Big 12's sake. Hopefully, I don't know. It's part of me wants to see Big 12 win. Part of me doesn't want to see Kansas win. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what point do I become a Big 12 homer and then like I don't want anyone else in the Big 12 to win it like Baylor did last year? It's
Right.
never been in this situation, so I don't know. So that wrapped up the Elite Eight. Final Four begins April 2nd, which I believe is this Saturday. The first game, 6:09, Villanova and Kansas. Like we mentioned before, Villanova loses one of their better players. Kansas coming off of a fantastic win, kind of a statement victory. Looking at the roster, Colin Gillespie had an ACL last year or the year before. He comes back this year, has a really good year. Villanova, I mentioned earlier in this year, they're either you make the 3 and you succeed, or you miss the 3 and Kansas, on the other hand, like I just said, if they hit, they hit. If they don't, I guess you can say that for every team, but especially this Kansas team. I feel like they've been up and down all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, O'Shea, Agbaji, kind of an up and down guy. Christian Brown, up and down guy. I don't know. I hope they all click, and I hope all of the Villanova players click because I want to see a really good game here. But I don't know. What's your take on this game? And then we'll give our prediction for this game.
Yeah, I agree. You always want to see a really tight, crazy game when you get to the Final Four. I'm really intrigued. I said it a couple minutes ago, but I'm really intrigued to see how Villanova rallies and if they can, compete at the same level even without losing their star. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch. Kansas, I mean, if they start off slow like they did in the last round, it might not be good for them.
Yeah.
But if they can put together a full game like they did the second half of the Elite Eight, man, they could run away with this thing, honestly.
For sure.
So, man, I don't know. It's going to be a really good game, I feel like. Yeah, I guess it just comes down to what Kansas team do we see at the beginning.
Right.
I think that's a big factor.
And I have trust that Jay Wright will figure out the rotations better to make up for the injury they lost.
Yeah.
Villanova's good.
They are
very good.
There's a reason they're here.
Kansas is also very good, but Kansas I feel like has been more. Maybe it's because I see Kansas more than I've seen Villanova this year. But I don't know where I'm leaning. I'm trying to think if I want to pick here. It's tough.
No,
I don't
really
know if I want to go
is.
Big 12 or if I want to. I'll go Kansas.
I honestly,
Villanova. I'll go Kansas. I think they have a good enough game to win.
yeah, I honestly, if that injury wouldn't happen, I'm 100% taking Villanova in this game,
Definitely.
honestly. But I think that's going to be a big factor. And if Kansas gets out to a fast start, I think they can control the game. So for that reason, I'm going to take Kansas.
I agree. Then the next game, the most hyped game.
Oh, man.
In possible Final Four history, maybe.
Yes,
At least
I'm pretty
in
sure.
my existence, I don't know. But Duke, UNC, round 3. Round 1 went to Duke in North Carolina, or in Chapel Hill. Couldn't think of the place.
Yeah.
Round 2 went to North Carolina down there at Cameron Indoor. Round 3, Coach K, he got embarrassed on his last game at Cameron. And then, Final Four, championship on the line.
This is the first time Duke and North Carolina have ever faced in March Madness.
It's crazy.
So that is an incredible thing to think about. Just probably this is one of the, if not the biggest rivalries in college basketball. The two blue bloods, the history, the coaches. I mean, you got Dean Smith, Roy Williams, you got Coach K for Duke, all the players who have made crazy impact in the NBA. You got Michael Jordan for North Carolina. I mean, you could name off a bunch of Duke players as well, and man, it's going to be an awesome game to watch.
Definitely. So I mentioned before we got here, I have officially joined the Coach K winning it all. I know not much of America wants to see it happen, but I'm behind it, I've seen a lot of interviews lately. The dude's intelligent, very, very intelligent basketball mind. I think I mentioned earlier, it might have been on the podcast, I don't know if it was before or not, but North Carolina not very deep. If Duke continues to play how they've been playing, attacking the rim, they can get these North Carolina guys in foul trouble, which then hurts them, like we saw in the second round match against Baylor.
Right.
So key for North Carolina is stay out of foul trouble, but key to Duke is attack the basket. They've been calling fouls quite a bit in this tournament. Use that to your advantage. You got big guys that can go inside, body them up. Paolo, and then Jeremy Roach has been going to the basket a lot the games I've been watching.
Yeah.
So I think this is a game where if Duke does that, they could pull away. And I don't know. I don't see Coach K losing again to North Carolina after what happened last time.
Yeah. Coach K and Duke definitely have a bad taste in their mouth, getting blown out by this North Carolina team in Coach K's last game at home. I mean, that was straight up embarrassing. And they have a bad taste in their mouth about that, and they want to change that. Both of these teams are really, really good teams. I mean, obviously Duke's been, good all year. North Carolina kind of slower, but I mean, you look at them, they still have 28 wins, still a really good team. I really like this North Carolina team. I've talked about it with Brady Manick, former OU player. He's from Oklahoma, so I'm a big fan of Brady Manick. This is his senior year, so I would be really hyped. North Carolina could get it done.
Yeah.
But then you got the other side where it's Coach K. This is the last dance, and of course he wants to go out on top. So I think this is a really awesome matchup, rivalry, crazy games. You never know who's going to win.
It feels right if Duke goes out on top because it's like one of the storybook endings. It just makes sense. It kind of makes too much sense, especially having North Carolina in the Final Four to get to that championship game. I don't know. It's weird. People think, oh, it's scripted. You can't script March Madness. But definitely an exciting game here. I got Duke, like I said. You said UNC?
Yeah, I'm taking North Carolina.
So
I think it's going to be a really, really close. This is going to be a fist fight. Like, it's going to be a battle.
It's going to get ugly. It's going to get a little chippy.
It's going to get chippy. These guys hate each other, obviously. It's the biggest rivalry in basketball. But I'm taking North Carolina.
Down in Nolens, definitely going to get a little chippy.
Yeah.
Which sets up, for me, championship game of Duke and Kansas. At this point, I got to go Duke.
Yeah.
Duke. Coach K gets there, it's done. Duke's got it. As long as he gets past UNC, it's over. Kansas, sorry. They like to claim they won in 2020. No one won in 2020, but Baylor did win last year, so.
Yeah.
I have a guy at work that argues with that about all the time. But I'll definitely go Duke here over Kansas. Coach K, they're not losing. They're not going to do it.
I would agree with that. If Duke does beat North Carolina, Duke's winning the whole thing. They're not going to lose if they get past Final Four. North Carolina, Kansas, man, that's another tough, really good matchup because you look at Kansas and they're so deep, and then North Carolina is not. But I gotta stick with my man Brady Manick. So Brady
the whole
Manick.
North Carolina not being deep is going to hurt them. I feel like the next 2 games if they get there.
No, I agree.
Because they barely got away with it in the second round. They haven't really been tested like that since Baylor, which Baylor wasn't even the best team this year. I wouldn't say. Like, being honest, they probably should have been a 2 seed.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they can do it in the tournament against Duke, Kentucky, or Nova. Maybe Nova because I don't feel like they attack a lot. I feel like they're more shooting threes, and then at the end, obviously, the free throws. But Nova, if they play Nova, I got North Carolina. If they play Kansas, I got Kansas. Obviously, I don't think they'll get past Duke, but it's tough.
I think I got to ride with my man Brady Manick all the way. But if Duke beats North Carolina, Duke's going to win it all. I definitely agree with you on that. But seriously, any of these teams can win it all. Sure. It's like the first time that you can't like pick out a clear-cut winner that you think is going to win it all.
Yeah, exciting times.
Yeah.
Whole tournament's been great tournament, honestly. One of the best tournaments in the past few years, to be honest.
Yes.
Have a deep Cinderella team. Gonzaga gets bounced out again. Love to see it. I don't know. That kind of wraps it up, I guess. We both given our predictions. You're riding with North Carolina. I'm riding with Duke.
Yep.
And we both have Kansas over Nova.
Yep.
Looking forward to future episodes. Thursday is the last part of our MLB divisional previews. You guys have been blowing up those videos lately. Appreciate it, especially the NL East and the AL East.
Yeah.
Even the NL Central has 40-ish views, and it's been posted last Thursday. So definitely thank you guys for giving us support on those. Keep commenting, liking, subscribing. Have a conversation with us. And if you want to come on here, we'd love to have you on. So after this Thursday, we have one more episode of the March Madness, obviously talking about the last 2-3 games, I guess. Yep. And then I don't know could we go live on opening night? I know YouTube has that option.
If we want, yeah, we could.
It'd be something we could talk about.
Yeah.
We might go live.
Definitely a possibility.
We'll talk about it a little bit more. We might go live. Tentatively, don't expect us to go live, but if we go live, we'll definitely put out some tweets before that. I think it'd be something cool to do. Watch the ESPN night game, go live, talk about the whole day, and then kind of talk about the first 3 innings or so, or whatever inning we get in. It's a possibility. I just not thought about that.
That's a good idea. I like it.
Be awkward, but cool. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Hit us up on Twitter. Keep commenting on our videos. Appreciate all the support from you guys. You got anything before we wrap this one up?
Good. See y'all next week.
Yes, sir.